Okay, so it's Eurovision time. A lot of happy energies are in the air over there. And then when I connect with that, I feel so happy and uplifted and so full of joy. And then I have to come here and go into deep spiritual topics. Oh God, really? Anyway, I'm not complaining, but it might be some sort of a contrast situation that no, it's not a contrast situation. What I'm picking up on is you might be noticing how there is like a completely different life that is calling to you and inspires you while you're currently still in this one where you are. And there is no other way of going about it than to take one step at a time and go through what you have right here, right now, and that will lead you into the next step and the next step and the next step, and eventually you will end up where you need to end up. But there's like, there is this awareness of, oh, I'm here now, but I really want to be there. And that awareness of, yeah, but I can't get there from here. Like the only way that you can go there from here is that you take the next step from right here, and then from the next step you take the next step, and eventually your next step is going to lead where you want to go. Unless you just teleport yourself, which is possible, of course. Welcome to my multidimensional living room. I will be painting energies. If something finds you in the right place at the right time and it helps you connect the dots, then that's great. And if it doesn't, then it might be for or from somebody else. If you like, share and subscribe and comment, you increase the likelihood that this video is going to find people that really could or would benefit from hearing what I say or seeing what I do. And I would highly, highly, highly appreciate that. If something really doesn't resonate with you and you really can't stand being here, then feel free to leave and feel free to come back when you feel ready. Please use your intuition and use your discernment at any given moment in time. It's very important in this world. There is something about white energy and white color. So this morning I have noticed that my spider, my 𝐬𝐵𝑉𝑐ularia, who's usually black with pinkish hair. I noticed this morning that she actually has gray hair. And that was so fun to see. She has gray hair on her abdomen, like an old lady. I don't know, she's not that old, but she's gray. Then I also noticed when I looked at myself in the mirror, I saw my own gray hair. And then as I was making my bed this morning, I saw one hair of mine that left my body and remained in the bed, and I have black bed, and so that one hair, that one and only hair that was sticking out was white. So there's something about white hair. There's something about it. There's something about maturing or wisening or being touched by the spirit. It's like something is being illuminated with the light. You also get a chance to see a little bit of daylight in my multidimensional living room, which is something that I avoid usually because I prefer late night contemplations. But there is something about light, and there is something about the white color today. And I know exactly what I'm looking at, and what I'm looking at is, I don't know how long ago, maybe it's been like 2 or 3 months, perhaps even longer, I don't know, time moves very fast. But there was this energy, I remember talking about it, I don't remember in which video and which painting, but there was this energy of something is ending and you can feel it, but you don't know what. Can you track yourself back into the time, and can you remember when that was? When there was this like feeling that something is ending and you're just like, you don't feel like the same person, but you can't really pinpoint what exactly is ending, like what is it? Now I get that that is being illuminated and is being very clear about. I just like, I can never fully accept the texture of this white paint. I need to get another one. Yeah. Something is being illuminated, like finally, and what I'm seeing is that there was some like a life chapter that comes through red. Hold on a sec. So, there is like a life chapter, which might have been manifested through a person, so it might have been a friendship or somebody that was in your life. Did I just add paint to myself? Yeah. Okay. Or maybe it was a job, or maybe it was like a temporary space where you lived here. That was kind of like an overarching theme, and of course it came with its own expectations. So if it was, for example, a friendship, you got along really well with this person, and then of course, you kind of just assumed and hoped for and expected that this friendship is just gonna go on and on and on. And it didn't, or it doesn't. But what that friendship or job or whatever situation it wasn't what it seemed. Like, it really wasn't there to stay. It was only there to cover up a lot of changes and a lot of endings that were happening underneath. And that friendship was there just to empower you while you were going through it. So if you're grieving that something didn't work out, that the job didn't work out, or like that friendship or whatever, it's just like it didn't end up being what you expected it to be, it's because it wasn't even meant to stay. It was only there to accompany you while multiple death processes were taking place. And now these death processes, these endings are finally being visible, but not like, oh, now it ended, like now it's done. Not like this, but I'm seeing those death processes happening like one day at a time, like one step. You can only make like one step, and then like it happens so small and in such small increments and in such small steps that you don't even notice it. So when back then, like months ago, we talked about that something is ending, but you can't really see what. It was as if like back then something was on 67% of completion. And it was visible that, yeah, something is going towards 100%, but you can't really fully know that yet. You can't really see it because each day is like 67, then 67.1, then 67.2, then 67.3, and eventually now you get yourself in this space where you can see that it's on 75%, and the rest of the 25% now you can see. It's on the horizon. It's like you're not there yet, you're not at 100% yet, but you see how that's gonna happen. Yeah, it becomes very, very evident, almost to like you can't deny it anymore. Now you know. And it's interesting how like this format of paint of paper always inspires me to move in that direction. And now I see a portal that isn't really love that sound. Okay, it's a portal that doesn't really look inviting, because those spikes here, they look as if they're gonna fall down and injure somebody if somebody passes through, but I also see it as a festival portal. And there is a lot of fun. I see a lot of fun and joy on the other side as you move through that portal. And I also see the 75-25% of you're already majorly through the portal, but there is this kind of like you're still, it's as if like you enter the festival field and you're about to have the time of your life, but you're still arriving. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Yeah. Here. this touched by the spirit. It kind of feels like something finally clicked into place. On like somatic level, on mental level, it's like you finally found that one sentence that kind of encapsulates everything into being and relaxes your nervous system and relaxes your body and reorients your entire being into a direction where you, into direction of that 75% that is in the process. Yeah, and in the 𝔥𝔢𝔦𝔫𝔫𝔫 this morning, I was experiencing hearing one sentence, like something has been speaking to me throughout the dream, and it had a specific energy blueprint and specific frequency and a specific feeling to it. And as I was hearing it in the dream, it was carried through that one sentence. And then as I woke up, that sentence completely changed, because I remember a sentence hearing yesterday that carried exactly the same energy than the one in the dream. So it's something like something has been taking like one shape, and then the energy of it just kind of moved into a completely other shape, which might be that, I don't know, maybe you changed a part of your identity that you're expressing yourself through. Or you change the way you relate to money, or you change the way you relate to friendships, or that you change the way you relate to the world or to yourself in a certain way. And I feel like it's not either or, but it's all of that, like multiple different things being rearranged and reorchestrated at the same time under one umbrella of one life chapter, where you thought that this life chapter is all about that friendship, but it was actually about how that friendship was kind of like a skin covering the organs, yeah, for this amount of time that passed. There's also the boomerang energy here, and I get that from across time and space. Like this really is kind of timeless, and it shows up here as well. The boomerang effect of taking your energy back. I feel like I need a moment before I get into this. Just a sec. Yeah, one of these big shifts that happen underneath the umbrella of this life chapter is that you have shifted where you invest your energy and how. And specifically, I'm seeing that like it can happen with one person, but it can also happen, I get that more like a systematic. So you're standing in the middle, and there are friends, family, acquaintances, everybody you know and everybody that knows you are all around you. And I'm speaking now to somebody who is an artist or a business owner. I don't like to use the words small in this context, but people would relate to it as small artists or small business owners. I don't like the word small here, but people who are in the process of establishing themselves in their business. You're putting your work out there, you're trying, you're investing into yourself, you're showing up, you're building, you're believing in yourself, you are really grinding hard until you don't have to anymore. And all these people around you, I'm seeing they kind of stand there and watch. And some of them, if not even most of them, they have power to come into your world and sweep you off your feet and change your world for the better with a single action. They can, but they don't. They're just watching. Maybe occasionally they say something nice. Maybe occasionally they say something that is 𝔨𝔨𝔨𝔨. but they don't actually fully participate in your world. No matter how much you try to create an entry point and how much you try to invite them to participate, they choose not to. And that creates the feeling of frustration and disappointment and perhaps even anger and the feeling of defeat and the feeling of disempowerment and abandonment. Like all of that shit gets triggered. And then there's this realization. It's like, look at yourself like standing in the middle, and it's as if like you're melting. And as you're melting, like the water of your melt goes into all of these people that are standing aside, and they're just watching. They don't support, they don't participate, they're just watching. And all of your water goes to them. And that water is this heavy energy of disappointment, sadness, anger, frustration. And through that water, they get access to your energy, and your energy leaks into them. So you invest your energy into them, standing there doing nothing. And then there's this realization that perhaps, just for a moment, just for now, not for usual, because usually they are expected to support other people. But maybe for just now, for this moment for you, consider that perhaps they're not meant to. That perhaps this is exactly what your soul wanted you to experience. That's exactly the game plan, the set where your soul puts you in. That's exactly the challenge that you needed in order to evolve into having those traits and personifications. What is this? Like properties, traits and properties and qualities that you look up to in other people. You can only get those qualities while going through exactly this scenario, like this container, this social container of you being in the middle, expressing yourself, investing into yourself, adding something to the planet, and you have like a circle of people who do not participate in this. And it is intelligently designed so that you can not develop yourself through the support of the community, which is so very well romanticized and so very well like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to grow, right? But not that you grow because people are supporting you, but that you grow despite them not supporting you. Consider this for a moment, that perhaps these people are really not meant to help you. And take 2 weeks to feel into this. Consider it. And see what happens. And that water that melted from you, it kind of just comes back to you like a boomerang. And what happens when the boomerang comes back to you is that it hits you hard. If you're not ready to catch it, it hits you hard. And it's not about the pain at this moment. I get that it's more about the intensity of that hit hard. Because all that energy that perhaps was there even for years of disappointment and holding grudges and holding expectations and silently hoping for things, all that energy that you've been melting into other people suddenly comes back to you. If you haven't experienced that already, then I encourage you to consider that. And if you have experienced that already, I see that happening here. And these people are still like required to support you and others like you. But it's just about where do you place your energy and where do you invest yourself with your attention, with your energy. And it comes back to me again, like there is like one sentence only that kind of encapsulates all of that for you and puts you back into your own place of belonging. Okay. And then that white mixes with all of those colors and the portal is kind of disappearing. And in the middle I have to stop. Tell you that how it resonates. The picture of the painting is going to be at the very end of the video, so you can look it up for yourself and you can read from it by yourself. I'm going to stop the painting here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my work. If you would like to additionally support the work, please check the links. I have things called units, which are like tiny little paintings that I can make for you. And micro readings are also open. And other than that, thank you for being here. And oh wow, look what I just did. I attempted to turn off a candle that wasn't even on. You know what I'm seeing from this? It's like this 75-25%. It's like this thing that is ending. It's like you attempt to give into the situations or to like some sort of like a life constellations that where like there is no fire anymore, and it's just your body remembering that that's what you used to know how to do. It's in your core memory, it's in your muscle memory to do certain things, to show up to certain people in certain situations and certain dynamics, but that's not where your life energy is flowing through anymore. It's just a remembrance, it's just a reflex. It's kind of like, you know, like when people lose their limbs and then they still kind of have a reflex from that limb as if it's still there, but it's not. Yeah. And I'm hearing 1313 might be important for this. So 13 is a card of death. So, yeah. Thank you for being here.